Hello and welcome to GrossiMath.com, where math is for everyone. Today we're going to solve a problem with an exponent using algebra in preparation for the TSI exam. So let's get started. Okay, so today we're taking a look at this algebra here and they want us to solve. Alright, there's one very easy method we can use here, which is called substitution. Substitution means that we take our values and put them into the equation and see if everything works out. Okay? There's one important thing that needs to be reviewed, and that is that these are brackets. They are not an ordered pair. So if something is like this, 2, 2, then that's an x and that's a y. But if something is like this, if something is like this, -2, this is a list of values, a list of answers, if you will. Okay, so brackets mean that you're making a list. You're not using x and y. So both of these numbers need to fit in order for their answer to be correct. Okay, so this is an excellent multiple choice strategy called substitution. It will get you out of a lot of binds in case you start freaking out on the test and you don't remember the finer points of all your algebra. Okay, so let's do this. -6 minus r squared equals -14. The way you substitute is to just put parentheses instead of the letter. And in those parentheses, I'll put my first value, +2. And let's see if this works now. -6 minus 2 squared is 4. -14. Of course, the steps that I'm following here are PEMDAS, or if you're in my class, we call it GERMDAS, because that's the high school level. GERMDAS. Okay. There were no groupings, and the step that I just did was the exponent step. The R stands for radicals, which basically means square roots, these little guys. There are none of those, so we'll get rid of that. Now, then, is there multiplying to do? Well, not really, so we can get rid of that. And is there dividing? No. So now it's time to add and subtract. Okay, so -6 and -4 make -10 equals -14. That makes no sense at all. If you come up with something that's clearly false, like -10 equals -14, then you know that the answer is incorrect. Okay, I don't have to check this one now because I know that the 2 came out to be wrong. Okay, so let's try this one. Now, some people are going to get nervous and they're going to say, how am I going to put in this square root? That thing looks awful. But you're going to see that it's pretty much the same process. So let's see. We'll put -6 minus r squared equals -14. And then we're going to put -6 minus parentheses squared equals -14. And inside the parentheses, I'll put 2 square root 2. And don't be nervous about that. That's fine. When you have an exponent outside, you're just going to square everything inside. It means times it by itself. So that's very easy to do. And you never have to be scared of square roots as long as you have some way to square them. Because if you can square them, they basically cancel each other out. They're exact opposites. Okay, so let's see. -6 minus. Okay, so 2 squared. Let's put a parentheses here. 2 squared, 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so 2 squared is 4. And square root of 2 squared. The square root and the square cancel out. So 4 times 2. So how did I do this? I put 2 times 2 to make 4, and I put square root 2 times square root 2, and that made 2. So square root and square crossed each other off and made me this 2 right here. Okay, so now I'm going to keep going. -6, and I'm still following my germ dots. I should put that up here. Okay, we took care of our group. There were no groups. We took care of our exponents. There are no more square roots. We multiplied the negative sign, or we're going to multiply right now. Okay, so -4 times 2 makes 8. So this is going to be -8 equals -14. Okay. Can I divide? No. And now it's time to add and subtract. -6 minus 8 is -14. The signs are the same, so I add 6 plus 8 is 14, and I keep the negative because the 8 is bigger. Negative 14 equals negative 14 comes out correct. Beautiful. Now we're going to do our final option, the final one. Let's make some space over here. Okay. And we'll do it here. Germdas. Okay, and we're going to check our final answer right here. Okay, so negative 6 minus r squared equals negative 14. And negative 6 minus parentheses squared equals negative 14. And here I'm going to put negative 2 square root 2. Okay, remember, everything that's in here is going to get squared. And squared means times itself. So whatever's in here, we're going to times it with itself. So let's do that. Negative 6. Okay. There are no groupings. We're going to take care of the exponent first. That's that little 2 up there. Negative times negative is going to make positive. We times it with itself because of the square. 2 times 2 makes 4. We times it with itself because of the square. Square root of 2, when you square it, becomes 2. So this is just 4 times 2 now. And now it's a very easy problem. So exponents are gone. There are no square roots. We're going to multiply. Negative 6 minus 8 equals negative 14. Multiplying is done. There's no dividing. Now it's time to add and subtract. Negative 14 equals negative 14. Ha ha! So they both worked. Both choices worked. And therefore B is my correct answer. All right. So I hope you learned something today, especially about how to take care of square roots using the square exponent, okay? So if you square something and it's inside the square root, you can basically just take off the square root, and it's really, really easy to do, and you can see that now it becomes a very simple problem. So never, ever, ever be scared of a square root when you have available to you the exponent 2. I'll put it with an x so you can see that it's an exponent, and up there, that little 2 can take care of the square root for you, and vice versa. You can use it the other way too, and we'll see that in other problems. All right, so I hope you learned something today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and to visit the website at www.grossimath.com. Have a wonderful day.